You know, never have been a really big thinker this much, if you know what I'm saying. This is something I'm kind of meaning for someone I met named Tails Fox. He seems really cool. I mean, I don't know if I wasn't notified if he had subscribed just yet. About that, so I just don't know. But some other guy named apparently I have noticed, my pal Callum, he's come back and he says he's still my pal, which is good. We've been talking some. Yeah, he might still be busy at the moment, but now across the pond was what we say. Across the Atlantic, it's apparently like I don't know. He said it was, he said it was pretty much the same time over there, but I don't know how. It was probably he meant PM or because, judging from the axis, that the Earth turns, I'm not really sure. I never have thought of this before, but judging since my the sun always comes up on my side of the house, right where my window is, someplace in the east. I would pretty much assume, I guess, that the axis turns toward here. Moves around like that. Think of that. So that would make it pretty much easy enough. North is right behind me at this moment, and I'm actually facing south. So, and then in that case, it would probably be sunrise for him quicker, I suppose. So at this moment, someone further out to the western United States, his name is Yoda Spirit. That's what he calls himself. He's kind of cool. He's really cool. I mean, he's always working on a lot of things and stuff like that pertaining to Star Wars, but he's really a cool guy. That's what I think is really nice. He's visited shops where they had lightsaber stuff, and this is kind of for him and for Tails the Fox. Anyway, planetary rotation, for our planet Earth, it's just quite amazing. I would pretty much think that since it's still quite, still at the still just rising still over in his state, which is, I'm not sure. I think his state is pretty much out there in the west. I'm not sure in the northwest. So he might still be asleep at this time, at this minute. So I don't know. I just don't know. It's very amazing how planetary rotations and stuff work. And the sun in our solar system, it just it stays put right where it is in the center in the solar system. It always does. How else could it always stay where it is, in the center? I mean, it has to be the Earth's rotation and the rotation on its axis that changes. So but all of this, being controlled by one man who controlled the universe, that's really amazing. I mean, I do believe in it. I believe that, wow, God is a really smart, intelligent person. And think of all that. So, Tails Fox, if you've ever wondered, man, I've wondered too. I have. Sometimes I have been thinking of that. Yeah, sometimes I think about, well, it's actually quite rare that I think of anything scientific. Anything scientific, whether geological or, anything like planetary stuff or rotation or something like that. It's going to be difficult if we ever make space travel for civilians possible one day. Think of that. Oh, that would really be great, man. And my hope is one day, Tails Fox, that they invent, gravity drives, on starships if we have to. I mean, if that way we can walk on the floors, that would be really amazing. I mean, think of that. Right now, it's just, right now I think it's still, that's still, just weightlessness and in the space and the International Space Station. I'm not too sure. But they might have already come up with something like that. I'm not sure yet. There's a lot of things NASA doesn't tell people. Probably for fear of a panic, like a public panic. I'm not very sure, but being afraid of a public panic, it might pretty much, be understandable that, someone is, there could be some wacko out there using it for bad purposes. Who knows? They're trying to, if he finds out. That's why they have to keep it under wraps and keep a lid on it. That's all I'm saying, and keep it covered up. I really, in this case, I don't blame them, but as really good as our security systems are now, and NASA and all that stuff, and our U.S. government, I mean, how do they have to keep it under wraps? They go through every security checkpoint, every detail, and they always make sure everything is perfect before they proceed. And nowadays, it only takes a minute or so, I think. It doesn't take that long to figure out any access point, any security detail checkpoint, or whatever have you. Yeah, it's what I think. It's what I'm thinking. Anyway, I'm rambling too much. I'm just rambling too much. I need to stop. But since it was sunny, I thought maybe sunny out. Maybe I thought I elaborate on it, on the sun, and the earth. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. I don't know if anyone's going to what anyone's going to think, because this is not always how I think. Always, it's usually battle stuff and everything, like fighting and mech stuff. Oh, that's a fly. Yeah, I'm getting sick of these flies. I always get in the cat food right there, and then of course there's there's a mischievous little raccoon that comes up. He's an albino. Sit down. I'll talk about him. This albino raccoon, I named him Gus. he always comes up from the woods out there, the wooded area. I don't know where he is, where he lives actually, where his if he has any kind of nest built or burrow, but he always comes up. And funny little guy. Sometimes he brings a group of them up, maybe just one. And they are just funny looking. They're cute little things, and I've seen them like come up here and eat the cat food. They scoop it up with your hands and nibble on it. They just love it. It's just cute watching them. Real cute. I really never can, get enough of watching them. And my mother, she really, really did love Gus. She was like, oh, and she loved watching him. He was just cute. Yep. I've been trying to capture a photograph of him on my phone, but it just wasn't strong enough. I think it was too blurred out, and I was afraid to get too close to the door because it might scare him away. And it's just all it is. And what really gets me is after they eat, they scoop it up with their little hands and then nibble on it. They get all them crumbs all over their hands, so they go in there and wash their hands in the water. It's so funny. They're just like little humans, almost, because they got them little hands, them little webbed hands, That's what makes it cute. When you think about them that they're just hungry or something like that, and they just looking for food, and sometimes it just makes you want to laugh at it, or kind of chuckle at it, And every time I think about this, knowing that they're just hungry, I don't really want to chase them away with a broom, or nothing like that. It's not like that. I just want to watch them, Oh, I think that's my Aunt Lori. I better go and see what she's up to. But anyways, I love watching little raccoons, Always have. One time he ended up like he was under my mother's van as before we sold it, By the time she found out it needed, electronics in the dashboard, and nothing was working. She couldn't see it at night, it would not light up, at the dashboard, so there wasn't any way of telling how fast she was really going, and she just kind of had to go a little slower than usual. And that's all it was, just to make sure she wouldn't be speeding in any street or neighborhood street or anything like that. So this was pretty much, part of it. Anyways, he was old Gus was underneath the van right there, the minivan. I could hear him making little whining sounds. He had this little sad look on his face. He's looking up at me like, oh, I want to get up there so bad and eat. Poor little guy. Had this little sad, pitiful look on his face. Yeah. I'm like, I want to eat, but I'm a little scared of you. It's cute. I never heard a raccoon make a whining sound like that before. It was just adorable. Really adorable. So, well, also Tails Fox, when it comes to Maureen the raccoon, I always liked her. And she was really cute. I mean, some people say she sounds annoying. I don't really think that she's all that annoying. She's just overly excited a lot, but she's really cool in a way. That's all it is. Oh, we got squirrels chasing each other up there. Squirrels are chasing each other. Just a squawking. Sometimes I've seen them like spiral down the tree trunks right around here. Oh. Yeah, they'd be way out there, in the backyard of this house, which is where my grandmother used to live. They would just spiral down that tree trunk, and oh my gosh, they were so funny. They'd be chasing each other down that tree trunk. And I think their sharp claws always enable them to do that. We got squirrels way up here, They've been chasing each other a lot, and yeah, here's one of our cats out here. It's one of our outside cats, a stray. We never have thought up any names for them, but I mean, I love animals as much as anyone. Wow, he probably just woke up. Oh, here's some of them squirrels. There's one up there. You probably can't see. He's up there in the trees. I can't really see him through the camera anyway. They're just squawking. Squawking and barking. Hey there. That's our stray cat. Come on. Come on, you gonna jump up? Huh? Wanna jump up? Well, be that way, will you? Maybe it'll do it anyway. And cats make their own decisions. They don't really. It's kind of like, what John Wayne said, the Duke, it was something like on True Grit. Yeah, it's the old one. It's old Sterling Price. General, he don't belong to nobody. He just rooms with me. In other words, he's just like a roommate, He's right. He just rooms with me. One thing I really didn't like is that he give him whiskey. Oh God. He was a really bad drunkard in that movie, but he was funny. I think old McAllister, the what was his name? It was in the second movie. Yeah, the second movie, Rooster Cogburn. Now he ended up like stepping on Sterling Price's tail, on old General's tail. He was like that, but it didn't jump up and start running. It just looked around like it really didn't care, But it was really screaming, and he was like, "Drunken cat." That was bad. But well, you stepped on his tail, buddy. That wasn't really right. Meanie. I liked old Katharine Hepburn in that movie. She was so funny. Katharine Hepburn was really funny. And she was good with a gun, really good with a gun when she had to be, but she was supposed to be like a Christian preacher of some kind, it's really amazing. I mean, she learned how to shoot even on horseback by using like a shotgun or a rifle, because her father taught her. Wow, everything was taught from father to children, to his children, or mother or their children. And there you go. That's part of survival out there on the prairie. Everyone should do this. I mean, it was all about survival and hunting and stuff like that. That's all we could do back then. That's all we could do. But there you go. And she'd always, she was really strong-willed, because of the Lord. It was amazing, the Lord Jesus. That's what I thought was really good about it. She brought the Lord into it, and he, how bad a drinker, how bad a drunkard that the old Rooster Cogburn was. He said something like, well, they were on these rapids, carrying a bunch of, it was almost raft in the middle of a river, but the current was getting rough, and then they entered the rapids. Oh man, the rapids were pretty darn rough. And they had nitroglycerin on board that thing. It was crates of it. Oh man, it's luck. They were blessed, very blessed, that they had gotten out alive. That it didn't get jarred, jarred and blew up or nothing like that. They would have been dead. Then Katharine Hepburn, she was already getting scared. She was like, "God help us!" And he said, "If it does, I'll give up drinking." That was right. A lot of people they get pretty scared and they they get pretty scared, and then they'll say stuff that are good. That was a good thing to say, but it wasn't the time for humor. Finally, their Gatling gun, which is their best line of defense, is the biggest gun they had set up against them crooks, them scallywags that were trying to shoot at them through the rocks. It fell into the water, and she's like, "Marshal Cogburn, we lost the gun." And he's like, "Now, sister, what in the hell could I do about it?" Yeah, they were all pretty bad of a mess. Him and the Indian boy Wolf and Katharine Hepburn. I forget. Yeah, her name was Miss Goodnight. Yeah, Miss. I forget her name. I think it was last name Goodnight. I'm not sure. Oh, Sylvester. He's kind of a mean cat. He's a tomcat. A tomcat on the prowl. Meow. I know what he's thinking already. You can pretty much guess, if that's a female, down there, right there. Oh boy, he's probably going to be chasing her any moment now. He can get pretty mean. I mean, he's mean with them, but he's scared to death of me and Dad. Yeah. I better head back in. See if I can get anything to eat for breakfast. I'm glad I was able to sleep last night. That was great. Good sleep.